Welcome to 50 Plus Tech. Today I'm going to talk to you about the new C30B. One of my very first videos back in last year, I believe I did in July or August, was an unboxing and like an initial impression of the new C30B. I wasn't super impressed with it initially. I mean, it looked great out of the box. Opened up the box, took the thing out. Wasn't hard to put together. Wasn't hard. It was a little bit of a challenge to set up Wi-Fi. And I did the review. I tried using it on my rug. I complained a little bit about my rug because it was black borders and it wasn't going over it wasn't vacuuming the rug for me because it thought it was falling off on my black borders. And it had a lot of issues with hair. With long hair, but I had longer hair. I've since cut off 6 inches and dyed it and everything because I just needed to take care of that. It was getting too long and unruly. So it was having a lot of issues with hair and getting stuck on the black borders. And to be honest, I kind of gave up on it for a while because every time I tried to start it up or do something with it, there was an issue of some sort. And one of the reasons why I bought the new C30B, or my very first robot vacuum, was to try and make things a little easier. So when I'm working, because I put in a lot of hours for work, or at night, I could go ahead and set it up and forget about it. And unfortunately for the new C30B, I have to do a lot of babysitting, and that defeats the whole purpose of having a robot vacuum. You know, you're supposed to be able to just turn it on, at least in my estimation. I may be asking for too much to start out, but so my impressions with it initially were not terrific, and my experiences with it since have not been great. The other day I decided to try and just fire it up. So I went ahead and made sure it was all charged up. There's some issues with charging, and that was more on my side. I had a half hot out in the front room that wasn't working, so it wasn't really charging it the way that it needed to be. But I paid some attention to it and focused on it and said, okay, I really need to let everybody know what my 6 months later, because it was like last year, June or July, I can't remember exactly when, that I did the initial unboxing and first impression. So I wanted to kind of give you a feel for how I'm feeling about it now. So I put it on, and I'm going to show you right about here a video of it vacuuming on my rug. It has actually been a little less whiny about vacuuming over my black borders, but I've noticed it's still having issues with certain areas where maybe there's a black box or something, you know, borders around the outside, and it'll just kind of bump inside of it. but it didn't cry about falling off the edge. So they must have had some kind of firmware update or some kind of update of some sort that made it work better. So that was kind of cool because it did run over. It does the floor. I have tile, like I said in my other video, so it does the floor okay. One doesn't do it fantastic, but it does it well enough. So it's good if you have all floor, you don't have any throw rugs or anything with borders on it, etc. It just doesn't seem very powerful. And the hair issue is still a huge deal.
Side brush stuck.
So if you have a family, I had 4 daughters and 2 sons, and my girls have as much hair as I do, so if I tried using this when I was raising my kids, it would have been a real royal pain. It just would not move. It would be stuck. So the hair thing is still an issue. And like I said, I just feel like I'm constantly having to babysit it. Oh, pardon me. I'm experimenting with some new stuff, so my camera is wobbling a little bit. I'll try not to touch it too much. The problem is that the less expensive, or the less you pay, the more features are not included, which makes sense. I mean, you buy a phone and X amount of dollars is going to be cheaper. You buy, it's not going to have all the features that maybe a phone at a higher price might have more features, and that makes sense. But for me, this really was going to be something that I could just set it and forget it and not think about it. And that is not what happened. And so I would not recommend this unless you have all tile, all whatever floor, just no rugs. Because it cannot handle hair in any way, shape, or form. It can handle my dog's hair, no problem, and the thing fills and I empty it, but it can't handle hair. So if you've got a family full of girls who, shed everywhere just like I do, then this is not the robot vacuum for you. What I'm going to do now is I'm looking at the EvoVax robot vacuum because I watched someone, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I watched a guy who did a review of some of the ones that were the i7 or i5 or something like that, and he did the review, but at the end of it he said, but really the EvoVax is better. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more research on the EvoVax, and I'm planning on buying that, and then we will do a comparison of the Liectroux C30B and the EvoVax, just so you can see what the difference is when there's a robot vacuum that actually can handle hair and has a better suction. The suction on this one is not very good. I always wound up having to go back with my stick broom. And I don't know if maybe I am just assuming that expecting more out of it than it really is meant to be able to do. But like I said, I just felt like I was babysitting, and so that was the end of it for me, I think, because it didn't feel like I could just start it and not think about it. If I've got to sit there and watch it because it's got hair stuck in it, or it can't handle, the borders in the rug, or it's not picking stuff up anyways, and I have to go after it with the stick vacuum, then it doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense to me. And I did give it a try and started it up multiple times through the last 6 months, but every time I started, there was an issue. And I am going to do, as soon as I buy the EvoVax, which is I'll tell you all the features of it in the video that I'm going to be comparing the two, but I wanted you to know that this is not going to be my main robot. I might give this to somebody who has all floor, or somebody that, you know, it's not a concern. I also noticed there were a lot of negative reviews on it as of late. You get what you pay for with this Liectroux C30B. I have some expectations from a robot vacuum on a day-to-day real basis, and it just wasn't meeting it, which is unfortunate because I was really excited. It was my very first robot vacuum. And I will also do a video just kind of consolidating all the research that I've done over the last 6 months to kind of get a feel for what to look for in a robot vacuum. Thank you for watching, guys. This was just a real quick look or reconnection with one of the first robot vacuums that I got. I hope it was informative, and look forward to the next one. Like I said, I'm going to be getting a new robot vacuum within the next month or so, and I will let you know. Maybe I'm asking for too much or looking for too much in something that's going to be cleaning my house. Okay, thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.